when I was 21, Jesus' long arm of love rescued me from misusing alcohol. I was in the local bar 4 or 5 nights a week and drunk and talking about Jesus. And one Sunday afternoon, the bartender said, "Becky, you don't belong here." And he set up a meeting with a guy who was a Christian who came in, and he gave me a piece of paper, and he said, look, he wrote down the name of a woman, and he said, you got to call her. She can help you. And it was Jackie Redmond. She was a pastor's wife. So even though I was super ashamed because I knew what I was doing was so wrong, thank God I phoned her. And she invited me over. I met her at her kitchen table. There was a Bible, and she listened to my story. And she just said, it just sounds like you need some encouragement. So rather than shaming me, she just loved me. And she invited me to meet her every week, just hang out at her house. And she discipled me. And what she did, and I'm so forever grateful, she just invested in me. She shared her life, not just the gospel, but her life as well, because she loved me. And in the course of that 2 years of meeting together, so much happened. I mean, she taught me how to read the scripture, how to pray, all kinds of just loving me. And we did fun things together. We hung out. We went to Burger King. We did ministry together. We did crafts. We prayed at the Arboretum. We just shared life. So fun, and laughed so much. It was a blast. But in the course of that time, I met my husband at the church, and Bruce and Jackie did our premarital counseling. And 6 weeks after Tim and I were married, I found out I had breast cancer. I was 23 with breast cancer. So Jackie Redmond, she, once I knew, gosh, this hair is going to fall out because of chemotherapy. I mean, she's the friend who came over and just cut off, all my hair. And that's the kind of love. And she's the friend who gave me the scripture, like, even in a year of drought, if you trust in the Lord, you will not cease to bear fruit. That's the kind of relationship we had. And then, even in those early years, so one time at church, I was sharing my story, and Jackie said, "Becky, you know what? I would lay down my life for you. You have so much potential to bear fruit for the kingdom." Those are the kinds of things that she spoke into my life. So, but she told me, you know what? If I'm going to pour into you this way, you need to pour into others. So start looking, start asking the Lord, who is it you can pour into? And the Lord faithfully gave me people, even though, I wasn't Jackie. I had something because he was pouring into me, she was pouring into me, and I had something to give to other people. And so that's the way it's happened. Now, she met with me for 2 years, and then they were called to a different church. And maybe 28 years went by or so, and every so often Jackie still would splash Jackie in my life. She would visit, and it would be like we never had stopped meeting. And but besides those splashes, she had saturated my life with Jesus. And so that stayed. So that's something I had forever, and it impacted me always. I knew that I no longer live, Christ lives in me. And the life I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And that I was to be investing. And so as I became a teacher, everything I did with my kids, once I became a mother, that's the other thing Jackie did for me. She prayed for me, for my eggs, that I would be able to have kids even after chemotherapy. And then now, full circle, what ended up happening, 51 years old, and before that, I'll go back a little bit. Jackie had, once she started Resound Now, this women's disciple making ministry, she had been wanting me to come on board and be a trainer. And I just had no freedom. Of course, if any of you know Jackie Redmond, you want to say yes to her. You love her. I wanted to say yes, but I remember writing in my journal, and the Lord made it so clear, I can't say yes until it's a yes to him and not to Jackie. Oh, and I didn't have the freedom. And you know what? I ended up being diagnosed with breast cancer for a second time. And so we think that's probably why I needed to go through. So I've been through a year of treatment, and I'm recovering, and I'm doing much better. And she asked me to be on the board of directors for Resound Now. And initially, I'm just like, no, I can't do that. I'm so weak. I don't know what's going to happen with my health. But the Lord was like, Becky, are you going to ask me? And I did, and it was so overwhelmingly yes. It was an invitation from him to come full circle now and minister beside Jackie as a disciple maker, and to invite others to do the same thing, to love people so much that you share not only the gospel, but your lives as well.